Hey y'all, it's Vanessa Love, and this is my channel. Today it's not going to be about the mental health field. It's going to be about an interest that I have otherwise, which is fashion. So, Fashion Week is coming up. It usually happens around February 14th. So, a few weeks off, but still coming relatively close. And I just want to just say a couple of things. First, you don't have to be invited. You can go on Eventbrite and you can just find an interesting one that you want to attend. And every year, it's usually my guy friends who are like, hey, I want to go. Some of them are photographers, so they do want to go and take photos. And if you are a photographer, you can definitely ask to be a photographer at some of the ones that aren't mainstream. Most of the mainstream ones definitely have their photographers already chosen or already done. So a little bit of history of that. I am an artist, so one of my art pieces was chosen to be in a Fashion Week show, like just along the walls, I guess, so that it wasn't like bare. And it was Baba Yaga themed. There's a lot with that. I can go on rants. Anyway, it was at the Angel Orensands Foundation. Very beautiful setting. Oh my gosh, just wonderful. Like, great first experience of just like going. I stopped going to Angel Orensands because they stopped kind of understanding what it meant to have a ticket and reservation. So, especially randomly Nick Cannon went to their show, so then that it just ended up that there were people just waiting for the show around the corner, and I didn't feel like that was like a good experience. After that, I had been going for a couple of years at that point, so the next time I just chose one and went to it. And that, like, so I think the Angel Orange Sands was, I've been doing this for like 11 years, so like it's one of those things where I'm just like there's things. So the Angel Orange Sands ones, I think I was there when one of the models had Down syndrome, or one of the designers had Down syndrome. One of those things had happened. And I know that there was one who was more carnival-esque, I guess. Someone did a crab walk down the main aisle, which was fantastic. So the next one that I went to was more, that was like the first time that I had seen like a plus size like show, and then kids in a show. I hadn't seen that before. I guess with Angel Orange Hands they had probably very specific model definitions. With other places you don't always have that. That's why I'm saying just like look at Eventbrite and see which ones you want to attend. I enjoyed all of it. So like it's an art form for me, so it's nothing that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't manage with that. Just know that you probably won't go to a Gucci or a DKNY one. You'll probably go to some really cool place that, like, I know with the Angel Orange Sands Foundation, they had Walter Mendez. Who, oh my god, his stuff is like beyond beautiful and like so expensive, but oof, so cool. Um, Glad that I got to see it in person, because that's about as close as I think I'm gonna get to, his designs, which again, amazing. So the other thing to remember is that it anytime you see a piece of artwork and you're like, I could have done that, or like, what is going on? Who wears that? It's not about who wears it. It's about about the question, what is art? It, like, for me, I'm always like, how do you know that something, like with Fashion Week, how do you know that something is a shirt? How do you know that something is a dress? Like, what defines that? And so, like, going in like that, when there is something that is just not something that you would wear, it's less of an issue because it's an art form. It's using cloth and textiles as an art form. If there is one that I am going to recommend, any show that I'm going to recommend, it would be Impact. Yeah, the Impact, they call it like NY, let's see, FW, so like New York Fashion Week. So like Impact is just, I just love them. I went to one of their shows. I went to a different show. It had the very particular model, but like the Impact show just was better. It's more of my speed. I'll say that it's more of my speed. The other show with the very particular models, it was great. I don't think that I paid anything for it, and they had like an alcohol, like they had a couple of different alcohols that were just like available, that were like, hey, they had like a sponsor. It was like really cool. All of them do have stores, I think, except for the Angel Orange Sands ones, like they just didn't have stores. But all the other ones that I've been to, they've had like a little section where they're like, here's the stores if you want to buy anything. So Impact, I really like them. They are trying to reduce the amount of textile waste. So they, their designers are mostly about how like either found objects or using trash, or like, you know how sometimes you take like just like strips of fabric and then you weave them into something. There's that type of like artwork in the design. And also I think the one time that I went, there was the model who was like, let's say over 60. So like just wonderful, very androgynous, like very like just everyone was very different looking, and like it was very wonderful to like see a show where it wasn't just one style of person with a very particular look. The controversies, you know. But yeah, Impact is about reducing waste, and so they take the money that, you know, I think it's like $15-20. They have, I think, fruit juices available. I'm trying to remember what they had, because I've been to so many. Like, yeah, so I've been to a couple. So that one I think had like vegan choices, and I think vegetarian food, which was really good. And they had like a backdrop where you can like, you know, do, like take a nice photo in front of their backdrop, which, I mean, branding, it's very important, obviously. So yeah, like very cool. So the Angel Orange Sands one, I know that if you sit close to the walkway or the runway, they don't want you to cross your legs. That's one of those rules. I know some celebrities have been like, what the hell, I want to cross my legs, and it's like, well, don't sit in the front then. Like, just sit one seat back and you'll be fine. But yeah, sitting in front, you're not allowed to cross your legs. It's something about the reflection, and it just doesn't look good for the photos. And if like it's really just about the photos, then you kind of need to respect that that they are branding and that they are advertising in a way. So yeah, just remember. So if you are going for the first time, you do not need to dress up. Don't outstage the people who are there, the designers. There's definitely been people who I've been like, oh, you are overdressed. Because like they just don't think about, like, you should not be dressed better than the models. There was someone one time that I was like, are you with someone here? Like, are you with like the designer or anything? Like, and it's not like, and they were dressed flawlessly. It was great, but also not appropriate, really. Like, it just kind of made them look like they were trying to like upstage or like show off in some way, which you know, honestly, when people have money, they don't always want to show that they have money. So it's the people who are trying to prove that they have money and that they have value, like, want to kind of show off that way. So that's how it looks, you know. Like, I don't mind going in something like this and just you know, sitting and enjoying my time. With some of the ones, you do have to come a little bit early. I know I've been too early for some shows before, so I just end up sitting somewhere because I'm like, well, I guess I'll be here. Usually people are really nice. It almost becomes like a little bit of like a community. It's pretty cool. I do enjoy just going. So yes, if you overdress for like going your first time, it's clearly gonna be your first time. don't overdress. Just go. You know, like dress a little bit nice, but like don't overdo it. Like you don't have to be ready to wear. So, which is a reference to an old movie, in case you didn't know. So yeah, like there's a lot. There's always a lot. I won't be attending this time. The next time, so the next Fashion Week will be in September. It's usually around September 11th, and you'll be able to find plenty then too. Whoever you follow, whoever you decide to go to. And again, there's like 500 that go on in the city, like that, like for that week, that weekend. So you will be able to find some really cool ones. And there's also like the Queens and the Bronx have been also getting into it. So like there are other places that will definitely have these fashion shows. So yeah. It's really interesting. As I said, most of my guy friends are the ones who are like, hey, I kind of want to go, you know, just to have the experience. It's so funny because most of my female friends will be like, I don't feel like that's like a place for me. And I'm like, okay, so we can go to the fashion district and like look at clothing, like the cloth. And they're like, yeah, but like, I don't. That's not like a thing. And I'm like, okay, like listen, just go, just experience it. It's fine. You will have fun. It does last a couple of hours. Usually what they do is they'll say it's from like 2 to 7, and they'll have like their designers, they'll do like 3 in a row, and then there'll be a break, and then there'll be 3 in a row, and then there'll be a break, and then there'll be 3 in a row. So just kind of expect that. And yeah, that's it. And if you are a photographer of any type, like some of these places really do need the help. So like if just like I think with Eventbrite you can see which ones like don't mind, you know, like having you as a photographer. You can just register as a photographer and go. So fun. All right. Anyway. I hope that was helpful for you, and if you go, I hope you take plenty of pictures and enjoy yourself. All right, thanks so much.